Okay, so this is a short tutorial on how to use this old school balance here. And so we can see the scale. We've got the hundreds, the tens, the ones, and then down here we've got the tenths. But if you look closely, we actually have more than the tenths because we actually have the hundredths where these tick marks are. And if I move this marker over, then we can see that a sig fig is all the numbers precisely known plus one estimated digit. And so in this case here, I've got 0.5, and then you go over 3 tick marks, but then it's somewhere in the middle there. So I'm going to say 0.532 or 0.533. So now we're going to the thousandths place. So it goes to the tenths, to the hundredths, and then to the thousandths would be your final answer. So let's just weigh this beaker that I have here. Well, the first thing is I want to make sure that this is set at 0. And so you can see that these lines that's lining up right at the 0 mark. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put my beaker right on there and start over at the hundreds. And I just use like a halfway type of deal here. So I'm going to shift over to the 100, and that's too much. So I'm going to bring it right back. Now I'm going to shift this over to the 50. And the 50 is too much. You can see that it goes all the way down to the bottom. So I'm going to bring it back halfway. Let's actually go to around the 30. Well, that's not enough, which means I need to click back over to the 40. Okay, well that's not enough. So that means that it's between 40 and 50. 50 drops it down low, 40 brings it back up. So now I'm going to shift my ones. And so I'm going to go halfway to the 5 mark. There we go, right to the 5. And that's not enough. So let's go over to the 9. Go over to the 9. And that's also not enough. Well, if I go to the 10, I know that's too much because that's 50 again. So that's too low. So let's bring it back to the 9. And now we're going to move this bottom one here. So I'm going to go halfway to around the 5. And that's not enough. So let's add more. We're going to go around the 0.8 mark here. And that's too much. Okay, so now I'm going to bring it back. You basically just keep on going until you line this up. And so you can see that now it's a little bit too much, just a tiny bit. And so I'm going to bring it back just a little bit. So let's say that this is where it lines up, which I'm pretty much there. And so what you do is you start right at the top. And so we say 49.6, and then it goes 1, 2, 3.63. And I'm going to say 0.63, let's clear this up here, 0.632, something like that. There we go. That's how you use an old school scale.